Okay, now we're going to look at tapestry. Tapestry is where you can make a picture inside your weaving. So what I've done is I've done a little landscape with some mountains and a sunshine. And I've drawn it on a piece of paper where the size I need it to be to go into my weaving. So I've drawn it, and then I've looked at the colors of yarn that I have and used my crayons to get my colors how I want them on my weaving here. So I've looked at the yarn colors, and I've looked at what I wanted to create here and come up with a landscape of some mountains with the sunshine. So now this is going to go up under my warp yarns, and I can tape it down with a little piece of tape, and this will be my pattern, so I know where to stop with each color. This is going to be really cool and fun to do because it's like drawing a picture with yarn. Okay, so now I'm using a smaller needle with this because I'm really not going all the way across with this green color, which is the first color I'm starting out with my mountain. So basically, I'm going to start off the exact same way, going over, under, and I'm doing the opposite of what I did with the blue that you see here. And I can follow the pattern, and when I see this green stop, then I'll stop and go back the other direction. So it's kind of like where we looked at doing the blocking, where you stop with one color and then you can do another color. And some of you have done that on your weavings already. So I'm going to pull this all the way through so that I just have my little tail hanging out, my little puppy tail here. And I'm going to tuck the tail under and over, and he will just get lost in the weaving, and we won't even know where he is anymore. He will be lost inside there. All right, now I'm going to go back, pack it down. I'm going to go back, and I'm doing the opposite over under so that the yarns lock together. And okay, now I pretty much have the top of my mountain done, and now I've gotten to the point and I need to end it. And you just want to make sure when you're doing your rows here that you're keeping your warp yarn straight up and down, and that you're not pulling too tight and changing your pattern. So you have to be real careful not to pull too tight. All right, now I'm at the top of my mountain and I want to finish this off. So the way I'm going to finish it off is I'm right here at the top, and what I'm going to do is just take this green and I'm going to try to hide the end by taking it inside a few of the green stitches. And then I can cut it, and the end will be tucked away just like when we tuck our tail when we start off. So I'm just going to cut that, and there's my tail from before. I'm going to trim that off. So now I have my mountain. Now I'm going to change my needle and start with the next color, green, and I'm going to start from this side and weave forward, and each time I'm going to make sure I lock in right where it ends with the green, with the yellow, with the lime green color. Okay, so what's happening now is I'm using my dark green, and I'm coming all the way over to my yellow green. And when I get to that yellow green, I then hook it. So I'm going to go under, because this one is over, the yellow green is over. I'm going to under, over, and go back. So the warp yarns, I'm not missing a beat. Like, there's no space between the yellow green and the dark green. You'll see here as I pull this through. I'm going to make sure I don't pull it too tight. So I'll pull it up at an angle. And my warp yarn's crooked there, so I got to straighten it back up. See how it's fitting together. Pack it down. So there's no space between the two, because every time I got to the yellow green, I just grabbed the next warp yarn. And I have to remember to look at my pattern. It's very easy to just keep weaving all the way across to the very end, but you see my pattern stops, so I have to stop. So now this green is under, so I'm going to go over this one and under, checking myself each time. I already made a mistake a while ago and I had to take some stitches out. That's okay, because sometimes you make mistakes and you just go back and fix it. You take it out and then you put it back in right. Well, this is fun. I like doing this. Creating a picture inside my weaving is kind of cool. Okay, I'm finishing up this kind of, it's a taupe kind of color, on like a light brown mountain that I've done right here. And I want to show you how I'm finishing this off, since I can't really tuck the tail to the left or to the right, because I have a point here. I'm going to take my yarn and my needle and I'm going to try to hide it down inside. So I'm just going to take my needle and figure out which way I want to go, but I'm kind of going to go straight down inside these beige loops here. So you see me going down this way. This is how I'm tucking the tail. So I'm going to end it up inside there, and then I can cut it carefully, and then I won't have a little string hanging out. So that's how I did that. Now my next color I'm going to start with is going to be my big purple mountain here in the background. And I want to start at the lowest point. So believe that this part right here is low and this part is low. So I could start at either one to work on it. And I'm going to start low and keep going up, and then have to go over and come back down probably.